This chart's looking at different elasticities that are important to know as far as formula and what they tell us. So we're going to look at the first one is price elasticity of demand. We know that the elasticity of demand is equal to the percent change in the quantity demanded over a percent change in price. And we can use that to kind of think through what the elasticities are telling us. And so if the elasticity is less than 1, then what it's telling us is that the change in price is greater than the percent change in quantity demanded. And so quantity demanded is not being very responsive to a change in price. And we would say that when something is being unresponsive, that it is being very inelastic. Which then means that if it's greater than 1, the quantity change in quantity demanded is bigger than the percent change in price. What that's telling us is that demand is very responsive to a change in price, more so than just the change in price that occurs. And so we would say then when the numerator is greater than the denominator, that demand is very elastic. When it comes to the cross-price elasticity of demand, what we're looking at is the percent change in the quantity demanded given a percent change in the price of a different good. If they're equal, then they're unrelated entirely. So if there's a percent change in price and demand doesn't change at all, then there's no relationship whatsoever. But if it's greater than 0, what we're saying here then is that if the price goes up, increases, then I'll want more of the other good, because in order for it to be positive, they have to have the same sign. So if the change in prices is positive for one good and I want more of the other good, then that would indicate that they are substitute goods, because I would just substitute out of the more expensive good and into the relatively less expensive good. And if this equation is less than 0, it's telling us that they have opposite signs. So if the price goes up, it's a positive, and I want less of the other good, that would be a negative, then those would be complements. So if peanut butter is more expensive, then I'll be buying less peanut butter, which then means that I need less jelly as well. And so we would see a negative cross-price elasticity. When it comes to income elasticity of demand, we're looking at the percent change in the quantity demanded given a percent change in our income. And again, that tells us some things. First off, if it's less than 0, what it's telling us is if my income rises and I want less of the good, that would make it a negative number, because positive increase in income, negative change in quantity demanded, then that's an inferior good. So if I become richer, I want less of the bad thing. If it's greater than 0, then we know it's a normal good. But what type of normal good is the question. If my income rises by more than my change in quantity demanded, that is, if the income rises by, say, 5% and quantity demanded only increases by 2%, then that would put it greater than 0 but less than 1. What that indicates is that I'm richer, but I'm not buying much more of the good, so I must be getting enough of it already. And if that's the case, then the good must be a necessity. And if it's greater than 1, my income rises by 5% and the quantity demanded increases, say, by 10%, that would indicate to me that the good must be a luxury. I haven't been buying very much of it to begin with, but now that I have the income available to me to purchase the good, then I am buying more of it, and that would make it a luxury.